So, I have a question for you. Where do we go from here? No, seriously. Where do we go from here? Where do you want to go from here? Are you confused right now? If you are confused, you should be, because this phrase alone is getting a lot of people who are into sales and closing in a lot of trouble when it comes to the prospect. So when you ask this question, if you're confused, imagine how confused the prospect is. And today I'm going to actually dive into why this one line can actually hurt you on a call, right? The line, where do we go from here? You see, most closers that I run into that use this on actual live calls, not even just like during practice, but live calls, are using it in times that just don't make sense, right? So we're going to dive into this today, how you can actually make this better, what you should be doing so that you don't get caught up in a trap of confusion where the prospect is just like, dude, what the are you talking about, right? Because it's going to happen if you use that line. My name is Dylan Starr. Welcome to the channel. And this is all about being the top 3% in health, sales, business, in general. And if you love sales as much as I do, and you love closing, you love learning and getting better, then this is definitely gonna be the channel for you. So make sure that you are subscribing to the channel, turning on your bell notifications, and be on the lookout for more videos coming out each and every week. I love teaching. I love doing sales coaching and training. I do it for tons and tons of people. I've already now coached over hundreds, well over 100 people now. And super excited to dive into this topic. Why? Because I absolutely hate this line. Gets people in so much trouble, and people use it all the time because they heard it on the internet. So when the problem with this line, where do we go from here, is if you are talking to a prospect and you are offering them, you know, value and answering their questions and going deep into their pain and understanding what their needs are, which you should be doing, right? If you just out of the blue misuse this line and say, okay, well, great. So Mr. Prospect, I'm curious, where do we go from here? If you haven't already told them what it is that you're offering, if you haven't told them what the service is, what the program is, what the product is, they have no idea what the price is. And yes, I have seen actual live calls to where people actually don't even tell them the price, don't tell them what they're getting. So imagine how confused the prospect is when all of a sudden they hear you say, well, where do you want to go from here? Then there's this detrimental, awkward pause, right? This pause is not a good thing, right? You just made the conversation so awkward, and they're super confused because they don't know what the hell is going on, right? What do you even mean, where do we go from here? Okay, now, how could you actually use this phrase effectively, right? I still don't like it, I still hate it, but if you must use it, you want to use this for later on when you're at the end of the call, when you've already given them the offer, when you've already told them about what it is they're getting, they already know the price, they know exactly what it is that you are offering them and what's going to be included, okay? And maybe they have an objection, or maybe they have just some questions, or they're giving you some kind of resistance, and you reframe and you handle the objection and you deal with the resistance. Then all of a sudden you want to be like, okay, so great, now I've answered your concerns. I'm curious, where would you like to go from here, right? You can do that. However, there is a better way, a much better way. I firmly believe it's way better to give them choices, to guide them. Prospects like to be guided, right? All of us do. Think about when you go to the mall or you go shopping, right? You go there, you know in your mind when you walk in there intentionally, you're like, you know what? I'm here to shop. I'm here to buy. I'm here to spend money. But prospects don't like making decisions for themselves. It's just not in our nature. We don't like doing it. We want people to hold our hand and guide us to the prospect. People who walk into the mall want people to walk up to them and say, hey, how's it going? Introducing themselves. How can I help you? Or is there any type of purse in particular you're looking for? Is there any type of shoe that you're looking for? They like to be guided down the process. They don't want to have to think for themselves, right? So if you're offering a product or a service and then you say, well, where do we go from here, right? It could be, now you just opened up a possible them saying, well, I really want to think about it. Or I have this question, right? Compared to, great, now that you answered it, right? Cool, let's get you started. Would you like to sign up with a Visa, or would you like to sign up with a MasterCard? Right? Cool, you've already handled the objection, right? It's not really where do we go from here. It's like, okay, great, let's get you going. Right? This is obviously, we just agreed that this is going to be the best decision you can ever make. So let's move you forward, right? Or give them options. Choose this or this, right? If you can guide a prospect and you say, hey, choose A or choose B, right? Or, great, you handle their objection, awesome. Would you like to do this package or would you like to do that package, right? Instead of saying, where do we go from here, and leaving it open to interpretation where the prospect's just going to be, who knows what they're going to say, who knows what questions they're going to have at you, why not just give them options? Hey, great, awesome. Now that I've addressed this, right, would you like option A or would you like option B? And then guess what? If they have another question, they give you resistance, you handle the resistance, and guess what you go back to? Awesome. Great, now that we've had that and you're agreeing with me that this is the best decision you can ever make, right? Would you like option A or would you like option B? You just keep guiding them back to the choice, and the choice is making a choice, making a decision, not leaving anything open to interpretation, right? This is going to save you guys tremendously when it comes to actually being able to close sales, close deals. Maybe you have your own agency and you want the business owner to make the decision of moving forward with your marketing services, right? So instead of asking the business owner at the end, you laid out all your packages, you laid out all your different options, and then, and you displayed them, and then he just has like a quick question about, advertising budget, or maybe he has a concern. You answer and address his concern instead of saying, okay, great, well, where do we go from here? I really want to bring this up to my business partner. I think I need to discuss this over with my team and everything, and just go ahead and send me a proposal. I'm going to look it over, right? That could happen. Right? Now, instead of doing that, wouldn't it be better to answer his concerns, address his resistance, say, great, awesome. So between these two packages, right, would you like the basic package or would you like the advanced package? Which one of these two would work best for you? Again, guiding them. Prospects want to be guided. So avoid, and if you're going to use that phrase, only use it towards the end, after they have everything laid out. They know exactly what it is they're getting. Do not use this phrase early in a call. It is confusing. All you're doing is making it worse. You are confusing the prospect, and I promise you the prospect, and sometimes, and I've heard this happen, the prospect will say, what do you mean? What do you mean, where do we go from here? Right? So be careful with that line. Always give choices instead of just going for the where do we go from here line, right? Guide the prospect. That is your role as a sales rep. That is your role as a closer. And that is how you actually help a prospect make a decision and actually change and help them make their lives better, right? With your product or with your service. It is your role to help guide them. It is your role to help them make the right decision that is best for them, and to not let them fall to the wind and have them think for themselves. Because like I told you, no one likes thinking for themselves, right? We all want to be guided. We all want to be helped. I know me, when I go to somewhere and I'm there to buy, I'm just confused. I don't want to make decisions for myself. I love just going to person and saying, hey, this is what I need. What do you recommend? Great. I'll take it, right? Most prospects are the exact same way. I hope you found this video really valuable. If you have, again, go ahead and give me a like below. Leave a comment if you have any questions, or let me know what your thoughts are on this specific line. Where do we go from here? I would love to hear your opinion in the comments below on what you think of this line, and I will see you guys in the next video.